on, Dan? Either Dan.
The crowd looks smaller than last time. This is typically about how much we normally have.
We're about a couple, 2 or 30 short. Looks like
DJ's on his way. He got time.
we got one that's about 15 minutes late. It's called
one
One.
watching online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guys, can't, Kentucky.
Well, you
My time should be on there.
Oh, okay.
it's still Billy.
Nah. We're gonna get mine.
Bring biscuits and gravy and Red Bull.
That's
Is it breakfast?
Breakfast and chicken.
Yeah.
And I built a photo so I hit it. As soon as I hit it, it did fireball. That juice will catch on fire. What's up, Bill Billy? Yeah. I'm sorry. What's up, Sex? It gets upset if you're not sexy. I don't know what it is. You go to that? No. I wouldn't know where James is at.
Still expecting another?
At least 2 more. Mitch blew my doors off on the highway. I don't know what happened to him.
He went north. He's headed to Lebanon for some reason. Yeah, James, I ain't heard him.
Calling Jackson, so.
This is over to the streets for James. Shooting.
You gotta start that strike.
I remember it.
So
But you started in the morning. Try to get on the highway driving. It don't warm up.
Morning. That's all right. Well, so we got some people coming in late, and still not here yet, but we're gonna go ahead and get started for the courtesy of those who did show up on time. So, welcome back. This month I talked to Scott and was kind of trying to think about what would be beneficial for you guys, and winter safety is what I thought would probably be best. You know, winter's here, unfortunately. I think a lot of us would rather not be here, but it is. So, you know, we need to kind of talk about some of that and what's involved. And I created this presentation for Citizens Energy Group. You guys probably know them, and did it for their folks about a year ago. And so I thought, well, you know, I'll tweak it a little bit and we'll cover it again. It's got a lot of things that will apply to you. It's got some things that might be more home driven, not things you do on the job, but still, I mean, you know, safety in my mind. Why not keep you safe at home and here, right? So it all applies. So we're going to start right off the bat by doing a little brainstorm. So you guys tell me, what are some unique things with winter that we deal with safety-wise that you don't deal with the rest of the year?
Ice, baby.
Ice baby. All right. There you go. So ice. So how's ice cause a problem for us?
Slippery surfaces,
Falls,
falls, stuck doors, stuck everything,
stuck doors,
Those hands.
there you go,
frozen other things.
frozen other things.
Uh,
Okay, what else?
Public safety.
Okay, public safety. About, what do you do every day? How'd you get here? Driving, right? What else? Walking? How about, like, yeah, okay, good, safety on ladders. Frostbite, hypothermia, right? So there's a lot of things that, you know, we don't really deal with spring, summer, fall, and we do deal with in the winter. I kind of went ahead a little bit and brought up a few different things. I mean, there's more than this. Like you brought up stuck doors. That's really good. I didn't think to put that on there. But here's a few things that I thought about that, you know, do apply. And a few things that we haven't even talked about yet is like static electricity. And that can actually apply to you. I'm gonna show you a video later. You're gonna, if you haven't seen anything like this, you're gonna freak out. It's pretty shocking, really. But static charge, we talked about slippery roads, slick walkways, about down power lines. It could be an issue in the winter. Tight windows, you know, in cold, everything, you know, obviously contracts, right? Kind of restricts a little bit, including our muscles. So, I mean, you know, chances of having a sprain, strain, something like that, go up in the winter. You know, so all those are different things that we got to think about right now with this time of year. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to go through each of these and just point out a few little highlights for each little bullet. So we'll start with driving, because that's one thing that you guys do, you know, start of every day, possibly in the middle of the day, and definitely at the end of the day, every single person in here, right? So, you know, ways that affects our driving, slick roads, one would be, you know, just the fact that stopping distance isn't the same, is it? You know, when roads are slick, we got to start our brake a lot sooner and reduce our overall speed. You know, our overall speed, really, I have a 15-year-old, I have 4 kids, but my oldest is a 15-year-old and he has his license, and that's scary enough for me right now. But he has not learned. You know, it's so funny because I'm teaching him, you know, driving safety, and he spends his time with, you know, the driving instructor and stuff, but Dad's with him too, right. And I'm ingraining in him, you know, things he needs to think about. But it's the little things he still doesn't get, like when you go into a corner, don't accelerate.
Right.
We know that, right? He doesn't get it, you know, so, but, you know, little things like that, little mistakes on a slick road, now you're really in trouble, you know. So, you know, overpasses also, those are areas that we should probably maybe take our foot off the gas while we're going over an overpass. Why is that?
They freeze first.
They freeze. Why do they freeze?
Air
Quicker.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. They don't have any kind of ground natural
Right.
heat underneath them, right? So you just have that wind tunnel, and it freezes quicker than anywhere else. So, yeah, I mean, even getting in the habit, especially on real slick roads, you know, taking our foot off the gas around corners, overpasses, stuff like that, and just kind of coasting around. That would definitely help. We already talked about following distance. Anybody see anything odd in this picture? What? You don't see that much, do you? That's a hazard in itself, let alone on ice. My gosh, he's talented. Scott said he's gonna save some money and get you guys unicycles. That's the word. But no, so yeah, increase following distance a little bit, give a little bit more grace, you know, to the person in front of you, and start to brake earlier. Obviously, more patience at intersections. You know, I mean, there's been times I know you step on the gas, you get going, and boy, when it's real slick, I mean, your tires are spinning, your time's delaying, and you're like, whoa, you know, I was hoping I'd be turned by now. So, just waiting for a better window before we turn in front of traffic, when roads are slick, it makes sense. And then the last part that I wanted to talk about in regard to, driving is, what do you do if you get into a spin or start to lose control? And it says it up here, but I got a good video. There's this how-to channel out there on the web, and it's pretty good. But he's going to talk for a few minutes about how to get out of a skid if you get into one.
So the subject matter today is what to do if you skid on ice. And the first advice I can give you is remove your foot from the accelerator. You don't want the car accelerating. And usually what will happen is, if you take your foot off the accelerator, the car will calm down and come back into a straight line. If you have to use your brake, you don't want to be stepping completely down on the brake in one motion. Your braking should be used by pumping the brake, up and down, pumping on the brake. That's usually the way to settle the car down and have it come back under control in the safest possible manner. If the car skids, you want to steer the car in the direction of the skid. So if the back of your car is moving out to the right, you want to steer your car by turning the wheel to the right. That will be the way to bring the car back and straighten the car out from the skid. So remember, take your foot off the accelerator, pump the brake if you need to use the brake, and if you have to steer the car, you steer the car in the direction of the skid. If the back of that car is moving out to the right, you steer the car by turning the wheel to the right. Those are the ways to bring the car back under control should your car skid on ice.
Pretty good. Anybody here do that? Have you done that before? Does it work? Yep. So I have too. And yeah, I don't normally pump the brake. If I lose control for some reason, I've always been able to get out of it by just basically turning in gently and taking my foot off the gas. But the brake makes sense. But yeah, I think that's a good thing for all of us to know. Hopefully we won't get into that situation, but if we do, at least we know how to react, right? So, well, I guess this is the last slide on roadway, but prepare for distress. So what should you pack? All of us have heard this before. I'm sure your mom tells you this. My mom does. Make sure to pack your mittens. But what should we put in our car? What all? What do you think? Blankets,
Jumper cables.
hand warmers, jumper
Water.
cables,
Flashlight.
water, flashlight,
Cat food, tools.
cat food.
Cat food's good.
Cat
Not
food.
cat food, but the litter part.
Kitty litter. Yeah, kitty litter. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Kitty litter. Yeah, to put under the tire.
What's
There you
kitty
go.
litter? Oh.
There you go.
Hey,
Cat
Jesus.
Yeah, kind of like sand. So if you get stuck in snow or on ice and your tire can't move, you can put some under there and it can get some traction. That's good. Yeah. And as you can see, I think we all talked about these jumper cables, blankets, gloves, water. Yep. Flashlight. Yeah, all that stuff. So if you don't have that kind of emergency kit in your car, it's a good idea to do that, especially if a big winter storm is coming and you got to travel in it. It'd be good to be prepared. This is something I don't know. I don't know if you guys carry this or not, but I got to think when you're out and you're walking around on sidewalks, especially you guys who are cleaning windows on the lower level, outside. You walking on ice all day?
Most of these property owners are pretty much on it.
They're probably doing it for you. Good. Good. Yeah, and they should be.
We don't have sidewalks though that wrap all the way around the building, so we're in the snow. Or what,
You're in the snow? Yeah. Well, and in that case, there's another possible thing that you can do. This is a little bit extreme, but I'll just show you everything that's out there. But these are really nice, and there's different types. The main manufacturer of these, although there's knockoff brands, is called Yak Trax. Yak Trax, yeah. So if you go online and Google Yak Trax, you'll get something like this pop up, and there's different types. So you can see these you know, have kind of, cables that have the, metal to go around, where these are more like metal spikes, and I'll pass these around, but these basically, you order them in different, you know, small, medium, large, extra large, and you slip them over your existing shoes. Yeah,
I'll have ice on, but not all of them.
Right. I'll tell you just a couple little things about those. I know there's companies like CSX that swear by those. They wear them, they make their guys wear them because they're out walking around on ice a lot. There's also companies like, that do like earthwork, and they try it, like the company I used to work for. We tried them, and they didn't work for us, and the reason why is we were in dirt all day. If you wear those in mud, it takes about a minute and they're caked, and then you've lost your effectiveness.
Yeah.
So, you know, mud is an issue.
The snow wouldn't pack in there, make it the same way?
Not really, it'll cut through that snow, you know, but the mud, you can get enough caked on there where, you know, they won't even reach the ground anymore, so. Mud's an enemy for those. You know, and one other issue is if you're ever walking on like metal grating, it could cause you to catch and trip, so that might be kind of an issue too. But if you're working on a flat.
Spray 'em down with Pam. Keep the mud off of them.
For ice and snow, for sure, yeah, spraying with vegetable oil. But those are really good if you're just walking in snow or slick surfaces. And again, you can get them online anywhere from $15 to $30 a piece. So
A piece or a
a set, yep. So pretty reasonable. So anyway, you know, something that's out there, good possibility. And if that's not something that you want to do, at least just make sure you got good tread on your shoes, right? The other one I did just want to point out, just for a grin here, he's using salt substitute. So he's outside the health store. You know. Anyway, all right. So walking on slick surfaces. How do you walk on a slick surface?
Very carefully.
Very carefully. So this is important for us to know, and it's goofy, I got to tell you, but I'm gonna play this video, and they're gonna talk a little bit. This girl's gonna talk a little bit about, you know, there are techniques and ways you can walk on slick surfaces that might be a little safer than others. Good morning.
After winter storms, parking lots and sidewalks are treacherous, even when they've been treated. Here are several tips to help you navigate safely across the ice and snow. Wear gloves so you don't have to put your hands in your pockets. If you need to carry anything, use a backpack so you can keep your hands free. If possible,
That doesn't
stay
necessarily
on
apply.
designated walkways. Wear shoes or boots that are meant for traction. On the ice and snow, point your feet outward and extend your arms to your sides to help you keep your balance. Walk like a penguin by taking short steps or shuffling for stability. And use special care when entering or exiting your vehicle. Most importantly, take your time and be careful.
Now I can just see all you guys out there, you know, doing that. Probably not gonna happen on a daily basis on, what's that?
I can't do that when you carry a bucket.
Right.
Use a backpack.
Slower.
Use a backpack, yeah.
No
Put your
buckets.
bucket in your backpack, yeah. No, yeah, right.
Put it on belt.
But I think the few things that we can take out of it as far as walking goes, the wider base you have, the more stable you are, you know, and trying to point your feet outward. Also, you know, extending your arms a little bit. So, you know, on everyday snow might be a little different than on a sheet of ice. I mean, all of us have been where, like, I know I've been on places where I know, like, wow, this is literally, if I got to be really careful. That's when I need to break that out and start, you know, really widening my base, point my toes out, trying to, if I'm carrying a bucket, maybe just trying to, you know, maintain that base. So, you know, there are times where that does make sense. Every single day, how you walk everywhere, probably not, but, you know, good to know. Cold temperatures, okay, so as far as like, hypothermia, things like that. So I don't know, do you guys ever get to the point where, have you ever shut down because it's too cold?
Yeah.
You have? Okay. Especially you guys who are hanging. I gotta think up there, it's even colder than it is on the ground.
We got caught in, not yesterday, the day before, we got caught in that rain, sleet, whatever it was, the wind and all, and it was horrible.
Was it?
We was about 20 stories up.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. So similar to heat, with heat, you're concerned about what's called the heat index, which means the not only temperature but also humidity. In the winter, really what you need to pay attention to isn't necessarily the temperature, but more of the wind chill. We've all heard that, wind chill, right? But because that takes that wind plus the temperature and kind of combines them into what we should be watching for. But this was put out by the National Weather Service, so a very trustworthy source and endorsed by OSHA. But you can see kind of what they say as far as what temperatures are, serious in nature to be working out in. And you can see as far as the wind chill goes, again, wind chill, once you get drop into like 48 and below, you're talking about, 5 minutes. In 5 minutes time, you could have serious health problems. I mean, it's that cold, talking possible beginning stages of hypothermia, stuff like that. A little bit more lenient time might be somewhere around -32. That's, within 10 minutes. You get down close to 20, 18, that's 30 minutes. And beyond that, it's, use some real caution. But so, I mean, really, if you just want one number, you can think about, if I'm in the upper teens, and I'm going to be outside for a long period of time, negative upper teens, so negative 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there, wind chill, it's very, very cold at that point.
And you don't be out in that crap like that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to use real caution there, so. Okay.
What's the magic number there, so somebody say go outside and be like that?
Yeah.
Nope. They get, all that discretion there, but
And they had this meeting for a reason.
I think the management will not change on the daily.
All right, so as far as dressing in layers goes, I know a lot of us have heard that, dress in layers, wear layers. Instead of just, one big warm, outer layer. What they say, there's a science here to this, and it makes sense when you think about it. Your outer layer, well, let's start at your base. Your base core really shouldn't be a real thick layer. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to put on a bunch of layers of sweatshirts. Well, ideally, your inner layer, your first layer, should be something lighter that's going to wick away perspiration. So something like Under Armour actually is very good for a first layer. So it's going to wick that perspiration away from your body. That's going to keep you a little bit cooler, or a little warmer. Sorry, not cooler. The mid insulation should be something that is kind of lightweight but traps the body heat. So a sweatshirt at that point is fine, something like that. That'd be fine. Outer layer should be something that's more tough, that keeps the water out. So something that made of the nylon or whatever that's going to keep that out. Like, what's your jacket there? Yeah.
Sweatshirt.
Oh, sweatshirt outside. Okay. So I don't see anybody with like a good as far as an outer jacket goes to keep the the water out. But that'd be your outer layer. There you go, something like that. Right. So that would be how the best case to dress in layers and what the layers should look like. And then obviously you want to cover all your exposed skin, wear gloves, mask or hat. People who have my haircut, we got to keep that body temperature from escaping, right? So those are as far as dressing goes. Also, caffeine and heavy meals like Red Bull biscuits and gravy, right? So, caffeine, heavy meals, nicotine, all those things, what they do, well, not, heavy meals affect you a little differently, but caffeine and nicotine, both of those restrict your blood vessels. And when you restrict your blood vessels, blood flow is less, your body's working harder, but your body's ability to function as far as regulating temperature isn't quite the same. So drinking a lot of caffeine or intaking nicotine of any sort is actually going to make your body more susceptible to having a cold stress type of illness, as well as a heat stress type of illness. It works both ways. What are symptoms of hypothermia? Anybody know? What are some things that if you start noticing these things, you might
We did this last one too, last year. Yeah.
sweat? That's would you say stop sweating?
No, it starts with.
Start sweating? Okay.
Yeah, ain't it like sweat?
Chills?
Like,
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay. So that's probably more like frostbite. Yeah. That's frostbite. So there's frostbite and there's hypothermia. Frostbite is more of the physical, so you're going to see things physically. Hypothermia is more mental. It's more like your body internally is not functioning properly. So, you know, I'll play this video and it'll kind of explain it a little bit better.
For hypothermia, you want to get the person out of the cold. You want to get them out of a dangerous place. So you want to keep them safe. You want to keep yourself safe. Get them inside to a dry, warm place. Take off any wet clothing. Wrap them up in warm blankets. Hypothermia is body temperature below 95 degrees. And you want to be careful because as the limbs warm up, the cold blood will go to the heart. So they may have like a rebound effect. And you feel like they're getting better and then they get worse as the blood circulates around. While you're waiting for help, you can also apply warm packs to their armpits, their groin, and their neck. And that'll help raise their core temperature and get them feeling better quicker. With mild hypothermia, you're going to have shivering and you're going to feel cold, and that's normal. So you want to address those things, get them warm, get them safe. For severe hypothermia, you're going to have you're going to lose muscle control, you're going to have confusion, you're going to have agitation, you're going to have slurred speech, people are not going to act normal. You're going to want to get help right away for that. Call 911. If they're alert and oriented and they can follow commands, give them warm drinks, not hot drinks, but warm drinks. That will help warm them up from the inside out. Although people think alcohol will warm you up, stay away from alcohol. That can dehydrate you and that can make it worse.
So there you go. We said chills. Yep, chills is early stages, but then once you get more serious, it's confusion, slurred speech, you know, more mental. So somebody may be acting almost like drunk, type of thing. You know. Hopefully they haven't been drinking. It's actually the cold. Right. So that's hypothermia, and what you do is you get them outside of the. You get them inside, give them some warm drinks, and if it's serious, you call 911. Right. So that's that. If it's frostbite, here's a little bit on frostbite, what to do.
Anytime you suspect frostbite, you really want to act quickly. You want to get that person safely out of danger, get them out of the cold into a warm indoor environment. You want to wrap them up in warm blankets, you want to keep them warm. You want to put the affected body part in warm water, water that is warmer than body temperature, not hot, but warmer than body temperature. You want to submerge the limb into the water, and you want to continually keep it warm. As the water cools, just pour more warm water in there. Never pour water directly onto the affected limb. That could hurt some more. If you're in a situation where you can't warm up completely, where you're afraid of the body part being frozen again, don't defrost it, don't thaw it, and then only have it to be refrozen. That causes worse damage. call for help, get someone there right away. If you're in a place where help's gonna take a long time getting there, or you can't be in a warm place, or you don't have warm water available, you can always put the affected limb in your armpit or in your crotch. Warm areas, really heat radiates from those places because they're at core temperature, and you can help your friend or help yourself keep that limb warm. And finally, you don't want to rub or massage the frostbitten area. That could cause more damage. And you don't want to reheat the frostbitten area with dry heat, like a stove or a fire or even a heating blanket, because the person can't tell the heat. And you can cause further damage. You could burn an already frostbitten area, and you don't want to do that. Warm water is the best. Keep it nice and warm. It'll slowly warm up and get help.
All right. So if you see a coworker walking around with his hand in his crotch, don't worry. He's just trying to overcome frostbite. But
I'm full of lot.
he is often cold. So, all right. So, no, but all seriousness. So, yeah, frostbite is, you're gonna see physical signs of it, right? You're gonna feel it. It's gonna, like you said, it's gonna burn. It's gonna burn. You might see start of it. It's gonna be real red, possibly even turn white, right? Or as it gets worse, purple, blue, yeah, bluish purple. And even I mean, I had a friend in college who was outside. We were playing football, and literally his ears got frostbit. So, I mean, it's not just your fingers, right? Any exposed skin, and really the recipe for frostbite is water plus cold air. That's really it. So, the main way you prevent frostbite is don't let your skin get wet, if you can. I know that's a
Stay
joke.
wet 7 of the 8 hours of the day.
Okay, all right. So your hands are wet because you're dealing with water and cleaning, and yeah. So, I don't know how to. Anybody here ever got frostbite before? Yes, a couple. Okay.
Yeah, and back in the day, we didn't wear gloves, and I was telling him on stage that my hands like, he said, boy, you better not stop, keep on going. And it was like blue.
Blue is your shirt, huh? So what? You frostbit your several fingers?
Yeah, the tip of my finger, they still, I mean, right now, like, my hands get real cold now, it's still, you can still feel it. Way back in the day, but you can still feel my hands get real cold, the tip of my finger, you can still kind of feel it.
Yeah.
It's been a while ago.
How about you?
I've done it a few times.
Hands?
I just take mine inside, run them under, I try cold water, because it seems the warm water burns like.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah, maybe start cold and then kind of warm it up gradually. Yeah.
Hands are burned so bad that you use hot water to probably get worse or even warm water.
Yeah.
I seen my cousin had it, his hands swelled up, and it was black.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it can damage the skin, damage the nerves. I mean, it can do some serious damage. So, yeah, you gotta be careful.
In here's got nerve damage from it.
Who,
In our
has
hands.
anybody found a great way to keep your hands drier?
Unemployment.
What's that? What was that? Unemployment. Other than that.
Stay at home.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Another
Wear
job.
gloves.
We got gloves.
We got waterproof gloves.
Found good gloves?
No.
They had some at one time, the waterproof, yellow one or something like that, they were good.
They work well?
They did work well.
Yeah.
Better than green ones.
How they do the last time.
And what kind of,
We just have a
I
problem
know you
with,
stick your, put them in, your
When we
gloves
work
on,
and
stick your
when
hand in
we
the bucket,
hang,
your
there's a
gloves
lot
still be
going on.
dry, your hands
so
still be
we
dry.
got big thick
But
gloves
the
on.
green ones,
Drop
don't drop
something,
it, yeah.
I mean, both sides, downside of having gloves on.
So horrible. Crank your whole arm.
What's that?
other people remember the yellow gloves he's talking about?
There's the, kinda like the yellow ones, but the black, the real bulky, they were waterproof. They were nice.
We got last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
We like.
There was blue ones and there was yellow ones.
I like the yellow.
You get, so it sounds like a couple of you like the yellow ones the best, so.
They're waterproof, they're better than under.
Really?
They can make the gloves like we got now, like a rubber thing, keep the hands warm.
Well, the ones we had, you could stick in your hands in the bucket with them on, your hands to be dry.
Right.
Thicker.
Huh.
I know, they're horrible to hang with, but they're not. The orange one?
The neoprene?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hang with it.
Yeah. But the waterproof, not, I like it.
Were they neoprene or rubber?
That's what,
The unders are, they're waterproof, that you do a rope drop on it and tear home first time.
Burn hosing.
But the other ones are boxy, so I mean, it's choice,
Yeah.
hang dry or fill with it.
Yeah. Huh.
We had a problem this week.
You coming down the wall like that.
We had gloves on. First affecting.
Well, all right. Well, that's
Like I
good
said,
to know.
I'm sure there's most of us that's got something wrong with our hands
Yeah.
from that crap.
Oh, I mean, that sounds like an issue that you guys seriously do deal with.
Feet and
And,
hands,
feet and
Sounds
hands,
like
yeah.
it.
or feet
So-
stay wet,
The water running, certain degree, we shouldn't be home.
I'll keep my eyes open and maybe ask around, see if anybody else has found some kind of magical glove.
or the neoprene works good, it's just they burn, you know, it tears
They're
them
not-
up,
they're not
the
good.
ropes,
Maybe
you know,
ice
trash
block.
them,
Yeah.
you know, especially around the thumbs, where we hang under our ropes.
I got leather hands, mine's
You got leather hands.
We all,
Listen to Nancy.
We missed you.
Like we got donuts
we
coming in.
definitely missed you on the
All right, so we're gonna keep on going. So tight muscles. So muscles are tighter, everything's a little tighter, it takes a while to warm up. You know, muscle sprains and strains, ways that we can avoid that. One is stretch. Does anybody in here actually stretch daily? Do you?
I have to.
You have to, okay. Just one? Does it help you? Yeah. Does it help you?
Oh, yeah, I had my bachelor's degree, so I have to.
I'll tell you what, you know, I know a lot of us probably don't think of it. Others may think, you know, it's maybe not worth time or whatever.
that every morning, yeah.
But the guys I talk to who do it swear by it. They say, oh man, it helps me a ton. You know, helps me just get limbered up. And you think about it, like, you know, professional bodybuilders, they stretch. You know, I work out, I go to a gym. I'm obviously not a professional bodybuilder, but there are guys in the gym that are, and I see them all stretching before they lift.
My first window cleaning company I worked for, they made us.
They made you stretch?
That's the first thing we did, is went out of the shop and stretched.
Right.
And then they let everybody go to work.
There you go.
Huh? Yeah, that was super.
And then
But
you
you know
think,
what? It was a good thing to do.
yeah, any professional sport, football, baseball, basketball, think all of them. What do they do right before the game starts? Stretch, right? Every time, stretch. So, I mean, you know, any kind of physical activity, it definitely is good to stretch. Just stretch out, maybe not, you know, do one of these out there on the sidewalk, you know. But at least, you know, get the back warmed up and the arms and, you know, pull the leg back and just kind of stretch the muscles out for a little bit. It will, I mean, I'm telling you, it will help you if you can get into that habit and prevent your chance of having to deal with an injury, which can be frustrating. How about lifting properly? How do I lift? How am I supposed to lift something? So if this is my object that I'm gonna lift right here, how do I lift that? Bend at the knees. All right?
Lift with your legs.
I can't reach it.
Stand back up.
Oh, okay, all right. So you're gonna walk me through this. Okay, so I come up to it, and now what? What's the next step?
Bend at the knees.
Stand back down at the knees.
Okay, so if I have my feet like this, is this good?
Shoulder width apart.
Shoulder width apart. All right. So shoulder width apart, and also one other little trick: stagger my feet. It gives me a little bit more of a power zone. Okay. So, yeah, leverage. So stagger my feet and shoulder width apart. Okay, now what? Bend at the knees, right? So bend at the knees. All right. And
Keep your back straight.
keep my back straight. Okay, good.
Grab your object.
Get a good grip on it.
Just what your man said.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
Back
okay.
straight
All
with
right.
that.
Keep the back straight when I lift. All right. So you can tell I'm kind of a smart aleck. But hey, when I go to lift, what about, you guys see weightlifters, right? Professional weightlifters, and they got this 500 pounds or whatever it is that they're gonna lift. What do they do right before other than grunt?
Clinch.
What do they do? Yeah, they look up, don't they? Don't you see them do that?
Posture stretch.
Yeah, they look up, and the reason why they look up right before is your back naturally locks into place. Like right now, if I try to bend it, it feels really awkward. I can do it, but my body doesn't want me to do it. So if I'm lifting something heavy, not only should I, come up and stagger, grab the object and keep my back up, but if I look up, which most people want to look at the object, if I just look up, I already got it, I don't need to see it. If I look up, I'm locking my back in place so that I keep it straight when I lift. Just a little bit of a tip there. All right, so snow shoveling. You guys don't shovel snow at work, do you?
Sometimes.
Do you?
Well, if we don't have to, that's okay.
Not if you don't have to.
Avoid that at all costs.
Shovel, but you can.
You avoid that call when Scott calls you.
So
Especially if you gotta do the roof.
So a couple things with snow shoveling. I know a lot of us have probably heard, people have heart attacks when they're outside shoveling snow. And that's true. And the reason why is, well, a lot of reasons why, but, you're outside in the cold, restricted, and you're doing something extremely strenuous, right? That's a recipe for disaster. But some things that can make it worse. And this is something you can apply to home. Obviously, you're going to be awake for a while by the time you get to work. But like if you're at home and there's a winter storm that hits, if you just roll out of bed and go out there and shovel the snow immediately, you need your body to get going a little bit.
Better stretch first.
And you better stretch first. I like that.
Water.
So yeah, so delay the start for just a little bit, right? Delay the start for a little bit, let your body kind of wake up, get going, circulating a little bit. Try to avoid a heavy meal. Kind of already picked on the biscuits and gravy. We talked about, you said Pam, spray something with Pam to avoid sticking, and you can do. Okay, it's a good idea. You can also oil the blade of your shovel. That'll avoid, sometimes you can get snow, sticking to your blade. Yeah, if it's real heavy and wet, right. So that's one thing you could do. It'll obviously wear off over time if you have a really long driveway. Probably before you're done, it's going to stick again. But it does work for a little while. And then there's all kinds of different types of snow shovels here. You have your scoop, your standard shovel here. This is an ergonomic shovel, and then you got your plow. These right here are not really designed to scoop and throw. I see a lot of people doing that. These are just a push. That's to get most of it out of the way. And then you come along with something else and clean it up later. But, just knowing that, using it properly helps. But also, these ergonomic shovels, these are nice. I need a new one. It's on my list of things to buy. Mine cracked. So, what's that? Yeah, mine cracked. But this is mine for my house. And as you can see, if this was a standard shovel, you can see the blade where I'd be having to bend over a lot further, right? So I'm allowing myself to come up more to where my back can be straight. Does anybody have one of these? No? If you haven't bought one, or you're in the market for a new shovel, they'll sell these at Lowe's. I recommend them. I think they're good. It's definitely a lot easier on the back. But then also, even at that, you can see I'm still my back is still a little bit bent. So it does require me to kind of bend my knees just a little bit. But the one thing that people don't remember about shoveling snow, And I even have to remind myself, and I'm always trying to make sure I do this, because if not, I'll forget and shortcut it. But once I get the snow, and I'm gonna, you know, wherever I'm gonna toss it, a lot of people keep their feet planted, because you take so many scoops, right? But the thing is that is a horrible posture, you know, for your back. Something heavy and wet, and you're trying to twist with it. So how you get away from that is you just pivot. You know, use a pivot foot. That way you get out of that twist motion. Did you want to say something?
I just said you tell my wife all this so she won't hurt her back.
There you go. Your wife, yeah. You're such a nice guy. This is online if you wanted to watch it. You know. So nice. So anyway, that's the main thing with snow shoveling. Okay, down power line. So real easy. Stay away if you see a down power line. Stay far away, right? Report it. But if let's say for whatever reason, you know, here's a telephone pole and a down line. Let's say that you're standing by a line when it comes down.
Run.
I mean, that's a very rare occurrence and probably never going to happen, but let's say that happens or you hit it with, it doesn't matter, you're near a down power line. What do? You run?
No, call two friends and play jump rope.
Call two friends and play jump rope. Okay.
All right, run like go.
Here, let me tell you about this. So electricity, the way the electricity works, okay, it works in fields. So if you have an electrical line that's in the ground, you're going to have an energy field that is energizing the ground. And then you're going to have a weaker field, and then a weaker field, and possibly a weaker field until basically it dissipates out. Those energy fields can't cross over. They can't blend. They're distinct. Okay? And they butt up against each other. They would love to play together, but they can't physically. Okay? If you give them a way to cross, they'll take it. So if I'm standing right here, and that line goes down, and I turn and run, I'm just now in two distinct fields at the same time. And what will happen is it'll take my body and bridge through.
Like grounding or something?
What's
That's
that?
not like grounding? If you're doing two different things, I mean, that's what gets you or how did that? I'm trying to understand it.
Grounding is the process of taking an energized part and giving it an easy path to the ground so that if it contacts you, it has another possible source that at least some of the electricity could go to, if not the majority. That's what grounding is. But this is, I mean, this is in the ground, but you could have significant, I mean, you could have a 138,000 volt line, who knows, you know, I mean, there's enough there to where that ground will be hot, you know, and you study in two different fields at the same time, it will take you and bridge over to that other field, if that makes sense.
Those power lines are down, do they move? Like I've never seen actual down, like it moves around and jumps.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Right next to the gasoline.
I've never think I'd seen one in person. I've seen them
Once it's
online
down, it
though.
stays.
I've seen it online, and
It was spark and stuff, you know.
it will spark.
I've never seen one move on the ground. I've seen them spark on the ground. I've never seen them jump.
I don't think they'll jump.
Coming in the middle.
Yeah.
How we will
But so, how the best thing to do if you're ever near a down power line and you're not shocked already, what you need to do is get away from it. But shuffle, yeah, that's right. Shuffle or hop, either one. Some people will say hop, so you're not in, you know, yeah. So you're not in two distinct fields at the same time, or you know, kind of shuffle step across. More people say shuffle than hop. If you talk to like an IPL, they'd say shuffle. But I've heard also people say hop too. So
When that ground.
all I know is don't run.
When that ground is, well,
That's
find that out.
Stop, drop, or
Not if it did, not if it ain't hit.
Stop, drop, or
Well, if it's in a field, that would be the same
Especially for my fat ass.
thing, wouldn't it? Like it right there, the surrounding part of it. When it grounds you to the electricity. You know, like you plug in something and it holds you there.
I'm not sure I'm following.
It just means like when you get shocked and then you gotta hold on.
Oh, would it hold you? Would it hold you? No, no.
It's
No, 'cause
not
what-
directly
yeah,
hit you.
What causes that, what you're talking about, is like, is muscle contractions. So it's where your muscles contract and you can't let go because your muscles are holding on. But here, I mean, you know, that wouldn't apply. So. Okay, so static charge, this is kind of a different twist. Anybody ever heard of a car fire in the winter because of static? Anybody know anyone that this has happened to? Seen the video? You have seen the videos of it? Yeah.
Standing on top of the gas truck with a cell phone.
There's that one. There's this one too.
Is this one where the guy tried to light the spider on fire?
No, this is a girl. And you can see this, it's cold and she's getting gas, okay? But like most people, what she's gonna do, right? It's cold, so here she goes. So she's got it on autofill now, and it's just filling up. It's cold, so she's going inside. Here's the problem: is when she did that, she
Damn!
there you go. So she isolated
Do
herself
not grab that.
and allowed herself to
If she'd have just touched the top of the car, she'd have been good.
right. So she allowed herself to build up static. In the
Wow.
cold weather, we build up static a lot quicker than we do when it's warm. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, even just getting in your car, that friction can build up some static, and then you get out and you haven't touched anything grounded, you got static, you touch that metal, you know, somewhere metal, it's gonna dissipate, and if that's near fumes, you can have an explosion. So, the lesson learned here is, you know, if you're fueling, don't get back in the car. And if you do have to, if let's say you have to, or you do get in the car for whatever reason, touch something else away from that to get any kind of static off you before you touch that pump. Something metal, right? So you could go over, you know, touch one of the metal poles away from the, or whatever. Okay, so here's our quiz. You get a 5 question quiz, all right? What direction do you steer when you're skidding on ice? Towards the skid, right? Into the skid, good. Okay, what should we walk like when we're walking on a sheet of ice? Penguin, yep. All right, how many layers are recommended in cold weather? 3. 2 things to avoid consuming in the cold.
Tobacco.
Nicotine, caffeine, there you go. How to escape a nearby down power line.
Do the Cupid shuffle.
There you Shuffle, there you go. All right, so I've got one last tip of the month.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Stay out of the palace.
Other than that one.
Lemon snow cones. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do it. Love it. Just shoots your eye out.
Really works. We're out.
Yeah. Even better I heard I was wondering, like, did that actually happen? They pay that kid to do that? And somebody told me, I don't know if this is true, that they drilled a hole in there and used a vacuum
Yeah, I saw
to
that.
make it
show.
look like that. So, anyway. Don't go sticking your tongue on light poles, right? All right. So that's it. Any questions? There's donuts over here. Grab some on your way out if you need some. Thanks for your time, guys.
Hey,
Be
Scott wants
careful.
everybody to know though, on the alarm, if you have a garage door opener, from 8 to 5, you can use it. After 5, if you use it and you set off the alarm, you will be paying the $125 it costs.
Oh, yeah, it goes up.
Good. How you got?
They don't call no more.
Yeah, it goes every
No more calling, because once you set off the big doors, it sends automatic to the police. If you go through the front door, you have 30 seconds to shut it off.
It's sneaking up. They were like, me.
Oh, but 125. I ain't never worried about that. I was 125, I ain't got worried about it. We got to be right.